Hello and thank you for joining me on my colouring quest. Today I'm going to be giving you a flip through of Manga Beauties and Beasties colouring book by Camilla and then I am going to colour a page. So I'll start with a flip through, and it's the same format as her other books, which I love, and with the shiny writing. I don't know if, there we go, purple shiny writing, and I love the illustrations in here. I've already picked the page, and yeah, I don't think anybody's going to want to watch it, but I'm going to film it anyway because I quite want to get that page out of the way with as well. I mean, I love the page, but at the same time, you'll know when you see it. Not everybody wants to colour it. And there's so much cuteness in this book, it's like unbelievable. And she always like surprises you with like what she draws in these books, because I always think, oh, it's gonna have this and this, and then she'll surprise you. Maybe frogs, and fish. Oh, sorry, I love all the pages with cats on. It's like, how adorable. And because she's got tears in her eyes, and there's like cute sadness, but fluffy. It looks like she's got balls of wool. Oh, she's a cat. That makes sense now. Yeah, that makes sense. Please forgive me. It hasn't actually been that long since I've woken up, and I just woke up wanting to do this, so I am. Oh, I love the hair on that one. And how sketchy it is. I like the sketchy designs. This is one of my favourite pages in the whole entire book. It was a choice between the page I'm going to colour and this one, but because it's Halloween season, I'm decided on the other page. Plus this is a double page spread, and I've only just done a double page spread, so I thought I'll hold off on this one. But it's like, I think these are foxes because of the way the tail is, but then she was throwing bones, so I was like, are they wolves? But I'm going to colour them as foxes, because these look like they're fox girls as well, hopefully. But look at all the baby tortoise. He's about to make a bad decision. He's about to jump. Oh no. Hopefully his little buddies will catch him. Feels like very springtime flowers. So that'd be very good for spring. She's crying again. Why is she crying? Has her friend passed away? Oh no. And he's gone to the stars. Page for the nurses. They're cute, but they're giving me like Nurse, is it Nurse Joy vibes from Pokemon? It was Nurse Joy, right? It's been a while since I've watched it. As a kid I couldn't stop watching it. But yeah, just so I might look up pictures of Pokemon doctors for that one. I do have a Pokemon book though, which I'm planning to colour in soon after Halloween, which I think I also mentioned in my previous video, but I'm just deciding on a page right now. I think I have one chose, but my mind might change by the time I get there. And this is what I mean by a surprise. Like, that can be so dark and mysterious, but also it could be you could do the page full of just greens, and it's like a forest monster, but also could be a forest guardian. And it's like, I'd never seen her draw something like this before, which is really nice. So that's what I mean, you never know what she's going to come out with, because her talent never ends. This is cute. It's like Winnie the Pooh eating all his honey, or her honey in this case. It's adorable. Oof. Is that a cross between a polar bear and a sea lion? Would that be? That's cool. I love her. I love the hair on that. And the facial expression. It's like a calm sort of sadness. But you could also change it to look a little bit more happy but peaceful. And even like how these petals are falling, it looks peaceful. Even the hair accessory looks peaceful. Is that actually an animal in there? Is that supposed to be like a hamster or something? I don't know. Because that looks like a little body and a little tail. Either way, it's cute. I love these double page spreads. I really, really do. I love it. And the little kitty here. And everybody's just... See, this looks like a fox as well because of the tail. But I'm really not sure. I probably will colour them as fox. Because they don't quite look like wolves to me. Because of the... Even the face shape looks a little bit more fox-like in the ears. So I'm hoping that they are fox. This guy, he's so chill. He's like poop. And then you can make his lantern light up, nice and cute. And this couple, you never see the full male character hardly, but I like this because the angle is different. It's like you're looking down at them, like they're lying on a field of flowers. And yeah, he's sort of sat up though, but she's definitely laying down. So trying to get the angle right for when you're shading on that might be a bit difficult, but also fun. I like the challenge. Three-headed doggy. Wait, is that Loki again? So she did that one before in her other book. Which book was that in? I've coloured it. Was it the pop manga Cute and Creepy? I think it was. Right? Or I'm gonna go with that. And I like how she's done like this sort of girl before, but her style has slightly changed and she's added a lot more detail than her previous one. I think it looks like she's grown. An elephant. See, this is a new animal for like her books, isn't it? I don't think we've had an elephant before. And I like the way she's made the ears flow into the hair. That's fun. And this owl is adorable. They're all adorable. I can't help it. But this one's got like snowflakes in. So you'd want to do this as a wintry owl. And then she's got, I'm going to say a kimono on. So that's fun. Might have to see about colouring this page when winter arrives. which won't be long, let's face it. The weather we're getting now is definitely going, yep, we're definitely into autumn now. Get ready for winter. Look at this fluff ball. I love little fluff balls. They're adorable. Ooh, fire corgi. He's breathing fire. That would be very fun to do. Like fire everywhere, isn't there? It's like a lava doggy. He lives in a volcanic region. I'm just saying. Do you ever just like look at the illustration and you can imagine the world that they live in? Huh. Look at those two guys. I don't know how she makes them all so adorable. I love it. That would be fun. Oh, the hearts are like tentacles. Oh, I never noticed that before. You see, I would never come up with something like that. It amazes me. Look at those cheeks. I've got another dude character. I always like it when like they add male and female characters, because obviously they exist but they don't appear as often, so when they do you're like yes, but then you put off colouring them because you've got so used to colouring the females. So let me just take a sip of my drink. Like I said, I haven't long been awake, so I haven't actually had a drink yet, which is like, why have I just literally woke up and filmed? I don't know. This is my mindset today. I'm definitely having a colouring day. Most definitely. Wow, that's a lot of hair. That is a lot of hair. Sometimes I love colouring hair, and then other times I'm like, I've got to pick a simple hair page. Because, I don't know, I just go through those phases. This guy, he looks like he's a bit naughty, doesn't he? He does look a bit naughty to me. A lion and a mermaid, right? That was a mermaid tail with a lion. That's cool. I love like the big cats. I love any cats really. Tigers are my favourite. I like tigers. I don't know, I just love them. And most like my favourite Pokemon as well is a Growlithe. Well, and a Lapras, but they kind of Growlithe slightly a bit more. That is the cheekiest grin I've ever seen. It reminds me of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon when he does his smile, except he does that gummy smile. And then isn't it in one of the follow-on films the mum shows him that he has teeth or something, and then he looks cheeky. I've only watched that film once, so I'm like, was it in that film I'm talking about? But yeah, I do, really cheeky. So like dragons and mermaids to me. And then that looks like a Pikachu. I might have to, it's like a bunny, but it looks like a Pikachu. So yeah. Little guy there. And we've got another male character. I love these double page spreads. I really do. I love the shading on this. It's like dark but soft at the same time. all the little kitty faces in the background. I don't know if I'd probably paint over those though. It would probably depend on the day when I come to colour this page, what I'm feeling like, because they are cute, but there's a lot of them. And then you got over here a little devil girl. And then skull and crossbones in the background. Again, like I said, for a lot of these it depends on the day that I'm colouring and what my brain is thinking of colouring it like. Koalas. See, I think this is a new animal as well for Camilla's books. Koalas, but they're cute. There's so many animals out there that obviously she hasn't got around to them all yet, but I love seeing recently her, is it Nurtured Nature or Nurtured by Nature, I think it is, her paintings of all the animals, and like I watched the little clips of them being painted and I'm like, wow, they're all beautiful. Why do I find the nose so funny? But in a good way, in a cute way. This one's cute. It's like it's looking right at you though. Like, colour me. Not today. Lion and a moon. We had the dog and the moon, didn't we? So now we've got a lion and a moon. It's a superhero. And another double page. I love that so many of these pages have cats in. I really, really do. Love it. She's even got cat paw gloves on. But they all have wings in this. So you could do a sky background, which would be fun. Oh, and look at her clothes sort of spiralling round. She's definitely calling St. Patrick's Day. Oh, the four-leaf clovers. That page is going to be green. And my little pot of gold. I don't know what you would call this creature. But I'm taking this as 2 eyes and then a jewel on the forehead. But you could also do it as 3 eyes, I think. But I'm going to... That looks like it's got a sort of metal ring around it, like it would be a jewel, so that's probably what I would colour that as. Wow, I see sparkly, very sparkly on that one. Again, yeah, I think it's a jewel because this looks like the same sort of creature. Yeah, I'd definitely go with like some jewel. Maybe it's glowing. Ooh. You get images of how you want to colour things. And this one is another one that surprised me. Like it's a bit more ferocious than her cute illustrations. And I love this seahorse. And why the seahorse is wrapped itself around this wolf, I don't know. You see, this is definitely a wolf. This is what I mean. They have a different shape of sort of ear in that. And the face has a different... So I definitely think those other ones were fox. And we have another kitty. And it's either got 2 tails or one's in motion. And it's in. But colouring it as it's in motion would be quite difficult. You'd have to add those sort of lines, wouldn't you? That might be a challenge if I decide to colour it that way. And over here you've got the Yeti, Bigfoot. And yeah, she's done these in her other book as well. I think it was Pop Manga Cute and Creepy. Yeah, it was. And again, she looks like she's slightly changed the style from the one she coloured the one she drew for that book, but also you can tell it's her that's illustrated it. Oh. This page just looks like so clean, if that makes sense. It's like you don't have anything in the background, but the illustration just sort of, it belongs. I don't know how to explain what my mind is thinking. But yeah, I love it. It's like you could do whatever you want with it. You don't have to. Sometimes what's in the background makes you think about what you're going, like how you're gonna colour it. Whereas this is just like a blank page. You can do whatever you want. I do whatever I want anyway, but sometimes it inspires me. Like these little hearts. This inspires me that it could be for like a Valentine's theme page. Whereas if they weren't there, I might make it dark and gloomy. Pig. That's a new character as well, isn't it? Character. Animal. Apples. Oh, she looks a little bit grumpy. She does look a little bit grumpy. She's had a long day collecting apples, and she's like, I'm ready to go home now. Let's go home. How did I not notice this one when I overlooked through this before? Look at that tongue. Wow. And this is the page that I have decided to cover, which I think people are not going to want to watch. So if you just want to watch a flip through, that is fine. I know not everybody likes to watch things that contain spiders. I'll watch them, but I don't like spiders, but I don't mind like colouring them because it's not real. But at the same time, I'm going to be on the lookout for spiders all day and probably end up having to get rid of one. I don't know if you've watched the video I posted before, and I was talking about spiders and I said I'm probably going to have a spider in my room. I had one in the corner of my bedroom. It's just freaky how talking about them, they just appear. Like, oh, that's an invitation for me to visit. But yeah, no, please no spiders today. This hippo, baby hippo. So I'll come back to this page because obviously I'll be colouring it. He's having fun in the rain, jumping in puddles. And he looks so happy. What would you call this? It's like a monkey and a parrot sort of thing combined, maybe? Why am I finding that a little bit creepy? Is it the fingers instead of claws? Oh, sorry. I'm yawning now. That's not good, is it? I apologise. Oh god, what are these called? The name has completely gone out of my mind, but I love this creature. And that's why does the name slip from your memory? Oh, he's cute as well. He's got 3 fluffy tails. See, I would call this like a wolf pup. Looks like a wolf pup. And then it's got the wings. Then over here you have, like you see in some of her earlier books, have these sort of styles, but you can tell she's improved upon her style over the years, which I love seeing that in other people's work, but also like your own colouring and drawing, because you look back on it and you think, I was really proud of that, and now I'm like, wow, I used to do it that way. And again, this is like her earlier work. which it's nice that they keep those elements within their work because it's who they are, but also that they're growing. And this is like a dragon from her was it Dragons and Other Magically Mythical Creatures book? I forget the names of them sometimes, I'm sorry. So if that's slightly wrong, because that one was really long title as well, wasn't it? But yeah, I love colouring dragons, so the more dragons the merrier. Wow. That is huge. I always get muddled up between crocodiles and alligators. I know one's in like fresh water and one's not. I don't know. That could be completely wrong as well. But yeah, when you see pictures of them side by side, you're like, oh yeah, that's the difference between them. But then you see one on its own and you're like, is that a crocodile or is that an alligator? Because I don't know if anybody else, but I get completely muddled up with the two. See, this one's cuter than the other one, that other monkey page. But this has like deer antlers. That looks like a sort of, oh, I was going to say a rat's tail, but then the end is definitely not a rat. And then, yeah. That's a mix of between a few animals, I think. But it's cool. And this one, it looks like the head of a parrot. Oh, it's got no arms. It's got wings, but it's got no little hands. Ooh. Not sure if it would have to use its wings for balance, wouldn't it? It's like a flying dinosaur T-Rex with its missing hands. I don't know. And another, oh, this is cute. Oh, you got the hippo, some flying monstery looking things. You got three-headed Loki. I just always call that Loki because the first one she did was based off of her dog. And then this creature again, which I'm forgetting the name. And she looks so cool. Which she's got all these friends. And look at the cat is clinging on to her clothes. And again, don't know if this is three tails or one tail in motion. Because if it's having fun, sometimes their tails move really fast. And you're like, and it's just flopping all over the place. And then lastly, we have giraffe. That is adorable. Oh, that really is adorable. I wish to see more giraffes. Like a page for a giraffe with a girl. You could have like the giraffe in the middle and the girl sort of hugging it from behind or something. Right, so that is the whole of the book. And yeah, the paper seems the same as the previous ones, which is great because I love the paper in these books. I seem to be able to do whatever I want on this sort of paper. And I'm going to be using watercolour for the background. I got these Schminker super granulation watercolour paints, and I have tested it out on another page for a background just to sort of see what they're like, but that was watercolour paper, so I'm thinking they're probably going to be a little bit different in this book, as I'm not going to use as much water with them because of the paper obviously, and these aren't proper watercolour paper, but I have put them inside my palette I have the colours here, and for this I am probably going to use a mixture of like Galaxy Black and Tundra Violet, maybe. I might add a little bit of the pink. It depends what I'm feeling like. See, I did test them out, but I find it easier just, well, they are still slightly wet from when I tested them out yesterday. Yeah. But yeah, they work really well, and the tubes are really small, but from filling up the palette I'm going to get quite a lot of use out of it, because I feel like I'm going to be able to fill these up 3 times from that tiny tube. Let me show you how big the tubes were. They're 5mm tubes, but as you can see I've only used a finger amount, and if I do that again, sort of 3 fingers in a thing. So even though they're small, you're gonna get a lot of use out of them. Because when they arrived I was like, that's tiny, and then I put it in the palette and I was like, oh thank goodness. Because they were not cheap at all. But when you think of how the quality of them, it's worth the money. And I just got those off of Amazon. Right, so I am going to just pause this video a minute, and I'm going to get myself a proper drink and everything first, and I will be back to start colouring this page. Right, so I am back, and as you can see I've placed a piece of scrap paper behind my page, so I'm ready to paint. I have my paintbrush, which I found worked really well on that watercolour paper. So I am going to need to make sure I'm using the right colour first. So I'm going to start with that Galaxy Tundra. I didn't use this colour yesterday, so I'm not completely sure of what it looks like on paper. But I'm just going to go in with it, because I do want this page quite dark and gloomy in the background. I may have too much water on this paintbrush. I'll keep at it. I'm just going to go over it, the whole page with this, and then I'm going to add some of that black tundra in places. But this will darken up a bit as I get less and less water onto my page, on my brush. Sorry. But yeah, these paints, they do have sort of 2 colours within them. Sometimes you see that it's got a different tone in it. But I don't think it'll pick it up, because I can only barely see that this is sort of... I'm not bothered about going over the legs, because I think her legs are going to be dark anyway. Don't want to go over her clothes on the other hand, because although I'm thinking of like reds, red and black sort of for her, but I always say I'm thinking of doing this and then you'll see me do something completely different. But I was also thinking about, for this background, again I'm thinking of it, to make these, I'm going to keep the spiders in the background and sort of hopefully make it look like spider webs are in the background. That's why I want the background to be dark-ish, because I want you to be able to see the white webs, the white lines for the webs. But again, there might not even be anybody watching this because I'm colouring a spider page. But that's okay. I found these for my sort of fun anyway. I find it just fun to film as I'm colouring, because like I said in the previous video, I seem to colour more when I have one going on for a video and then another just for when I'm not filming. So it doesn't matter if anybody's watching it because I'm getting the use out of it. So technically I could just film this and not even post it, but I feel like that would take away from the point and then I would stop filming it. So yeah. Right. As you can see, I'm still no expert with watercolour, but I get to the point where I want to be eventually. Plus, like I said, once I've put all the sort of white lines and everything in, it's not going to look as bad anyway. And I don't want it to be a block colour, which is why I'm using watercolour and not acrylic paint. Right, so I'm going to go in with the black now. And I have just loaded my paintbrush up again with water, so it's going to be too much water. I'm going to dab that off. Just sort of speckle it about where I want it. I love the way watercolour just dries. I want some in this corner. And again, once this dries, I can add some more if I want to. Make sure it gets down into the groove. I want that bit to be dark. Sort of behind it to be darker because I just do. I want the shadow to be visible from the floor area. Like, because she's actually standing on something, this bit might be a bit different than the rest of the page. Some more paint from here. That's dark, I love it. This side wasn't as wet as the other side. I don't think so. It's giving off a darker appearance. I'm going to do down the bottom last, I think. Just want to get some darkness up here. See, I don't know if I'm going to do her skin a natural colour. I might even, like, I don't know yet. I'm not going to say, because then you'll be like, oh, she's going to colour it this way again, and then do something completely different. I'm thinking, do I add some of that red colour or not? Because I'm quite liking it just dark. Right, I'm gonna add a bit on the bottom. But I kind of want the bottom to look more like a floor, so I'm just going to do that darker, I think. That goes straight across with my paint rather than dabbing it on. Oh, I just went right over that cloak then. Zero control. Right, so I'm going to let that dry before I go in with any more sort of watercolour, else my paper will start to not want to cooperate. So I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I'm back. It's almost fully dry, but not complete. I'd say it's about 96% dry. Don't know where I get that number from, well, that percentage, but that's what it feels like. So I'm now going to go in with that black again, but this time I'm using a smaller brush. This is just a Royal and Nickel brush. You can barely see that, it's got a 5 on it. I think this is a watercolour brush. I think it was bought as part of a set. But after you take it out of the packaging, I sometimes forget which ones are which. I probably should just keep them separate. But with a lot of paintbrushes, you're actually able to use them both with watercolour and acrylic. Like, I don't use oil paint, so I don't have... I know they're a different type of brush, aren't they? Right, I'm just going to get in with it. I'm just going to darken up some areas that needs more water. Just fill my brush up. Probably too much. And I'm just going to start with these bits down here, because I know I want them darker. And just... I did lift some of the colour I got on the clothing up, but I didn't do all of it. I was like, I don't need to do all of it, that's fine. And then if I need to make any of the parts even darker, I might just do that with a pencil, but most likely I'll just keep it as what I'm doing now. Like I said before, whenever I say I'm going to do extra to something, I always just don't. So I'm sorry if in like previous videos you've expected me to do something and then you're like, wait, she didn't do that. Then I apologise. I'm not being overly, I don't have like a, I don't want a solid background like I said, so I am leaving some of these areas patchy. That was a lot of paint. There's a lot of paint. Spread that out a bit, I think. Get some water on the brush to help spread that. Yeah, I might not be able to see the spiders on the floor, but that's fine, isn't it? A couple of spiders isn't gonna hurt, is it? You've got to remember that it dries lighter than what you're putting it on anyway. Some on this side. I'm going to bring some darker down into this area. So when you do the ends with the paint, that it likes to make the paper curl up a bit. Just be careful you don't add too much water. The amount I'm using should be okay. Not more water. I do want the bottom to be darker than I plan to do the top. I still want to have a little bit of that other colour peeking through in certain places. There was no water on my brush then. That has slightly stuck then. That was probably when I let it dry the first time. Get into those edges. Yeah, and I may add some like stones or something on the bottom with like, you know when you see like this just light hitting the edge of a stone, so like with a white Posca pen or something, I might add some stones in, but I don't know yet. Like I said, I'll voice my ideas, but they might not happen. Right, so now I'm going to do it a bit darker at the top slightly. I'm going to start with this corner. You are still seeing this, right? Let me pull you down a little bit so you can see the top. Now I don't want to go completely over the spiders with this dark, because I do actually want to keep these spiders. Like I said before, I want to add the spider webs because I like to make things difficult. I really do. I end up making things far more difficult than I need to make them. Because I will probably just be going in with my black pencil and making the spiders just black. Because even though this is a black watercolour, because it's, I don't know if it's because of the type of watercolour it is, it's slightly more blue, which I don't mind for this. If I wanted a solid black, I wouldn't be choosing this one, but I knew this wasn't a solid black anyway. But obviously the less water you add, the more solid it will be anyway, but I think it's because it's the granulating one is, and like I said, you can see a couple of colours in some of them. Like this one, you can definitely see the blue, but you can also tell that it's black. I do have a spider right in this corner that I may just get rid of because I want this corner dark. But again, one less spider. That's fine. A little bit more for that corner. Bring it out. I'm just gently sort of dabbing while bringing the paint out. Seems to be doing what I want it to do, so that's what I'm doing. Need to bring it down a bit this side. I like to at least have it slightly even. I think it's because of this spider was this side. I didn't. Plus this bit's really light. So I may need to bring this in a bit here. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly the same on both sides. I'd be here forever trying to make things even. Some water on that. Sometimes I forget to add more water to my brush, which is not a good thing if you're using watercolour. I'm going to go over that spider, but not enough so I won't be able to see to colour it. That will do for that. But down here I have a bit here that I don't really like. So I'm going to just dab this in lightly and hope that it just adds a different texture to this area. And down here as well. Because it's watercolour, you can reactivate it. I just think the way that it ended was a bit too solid down here. I might get some of that tundra-y colour. Tundra-y. What was it? Violet. Put it in here. Like I said, I think it's because I was avoiding the spiders that I did it quite harsh in certain areas. Most of it was fine. I like that now, I think. So we just lift that up a bit, spread it. And now I'm going to have to wait for this to dry again. So I'll be pausing the video again. Hello and welcome back. This is actually a new day now. After I stopped filming yesterday, I was waiting for this to dry and I still wanted to be colouring, so I finished off another page I was working on, and then I started another page, and then yeah, I felt like I needed a new day on this. Like, I needed to know that it was fully dry, and so here I am And I'm now gonna leave the background for now. I'm gonna finish that off last with the spiders and everything. And I've decided next I'm going to colour her skin, but I'm going to do it sort of a soft grey sort of tone because she's gonna be black. I'm doing her as like a black widow, but instead of the normal pattern, obviously that is a skull and crossbones on there. I don't know if there's a spider that has anything that's like that, but like I just want her to be black, so I decided her skin would be better off not as a traditional skin colour. But I'm going to make her like a pretty spider because look at her, she is pretty scary. So I am just going to use my polychromos, and I'm going to start off with putting some shadow tones in with the India red. So I don't actually even know how I'm going to go about this, but that is her neck, so that's going to be dark. You just have to bear with me as I figure out where I want this. So I do want a bit of that in her cheek area anyway, but like I said, this won't be fully visible once I've used the other tones. And I've decided that I'm going to give her black hair, but it's going to have pink in it. So I don't know if I'm going to like do pink streaks or just like have pink as the highlight colour. She doesn't have a nose, and if I remember rightly, spiders don't have noses, which is why I'm not going to give her one. I could be wrong on that, but I remember somebody, no, it was me, I was just like, do spiders have noses? And then I googled it and I swear it said that they didn't have noses. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I'm not gonna put too much detail in there. I'm just gonna keep her simple. Oh no, that's the background, isn't it? That there is the background. I know what colours I used. I always do that. There's always one part that you miss. Like without fail, you'll miss something. That is me. Before I forget, actually, I do still have my paint here, so I'm gonna just go in and fix that. Or was it here? Just to be darker than that. No, that'll do. That'll do. Right, and now I'm going to go in with my cinnamon and just sort of blend that out a bit. So at the minute it's still looking like a normal skin tone, but that will change as soon as I blend it all with the grey I've chosen. I mean, she doesn't look bad with this skin colour, but I just feel like She needs to have her own skin colour. And now for, I can't even see the colour on this. Oh, Light Flesh. I think that's now called something else, isn't it? I don't know. Or did it change from something else to Light Flesh? Don't know. This is from my original 36 set I had, like, from when I was in high school, so that's a while ago, and I think they've changed the name since then. But back then I didn't know what I was doing with the pencils, so yeah, I sort of had to figure it out on my own. Right, so now I have this warm grey too, so I'm just going to blend it together, and it, oh, that's a bit pointy. And that's going to turn her skin more of a different tone. I mean, you're still going to see that. I think I need to pick a darker grey as well. Might have been better to go in with a black first. I'm going to do that. Oh, black needs sharpening. I got all the others ready, but completely forgot the main colour I was going to use them. That might be too pointy. I'm just going to go over the eyelashes because they're going to be black anyway. Put that part in ready. Don't know what colour I'm doing her eyes yet. She's just going to end up having a normal skin tone, isn't she? It's looking more like what I was going for now. Pale and gloomy, but pretty. Right, now I'm going to go back with that warm grey and just blend it like I was doing before, but it should work better this time. Yeah, that's more what I was going for. Then I'm just going to take my white. Some of this didn't quite blend, don't know why. Want that bit kept white, that bit blended nicely, I don't really. And then just this lighter bit on my hands up here. A bit on the fingers. And that is her skin almost done. I say almost done because I just want to add this into the lip area. And give her some eyeshadow, and I will blend it back out again. A bit more blush in there. And then I'm going to blend it out with my white, so it's gonna look less ridiculous because let's face it, it did look ridiculous when it's just a solid colour. And now a little bit of black in between her teeth. I'm going to get rid of the bottom teeth, I think. That little black bit back in there because that went too pale. Right, and now she does look weird without a nose, but I'm not adding one. Right, now I want to do her hair. Need to pick a pink out a moment. Where's my colours? So I'm thinking of quite a bright pink. So maybe like the fuchsia. Yeah, I'm going to choose fuchsia. Give it a sharpen. So I'm thinking that I want to give her pink, like a pink section of her hair, and I might include some of the fringe and then a part of this section. So I'm just going to lightly colour that a minute, and then I can add to it. If I need to, yes. So that, and then I'm going to do this section here, pink. Right, now I'm going to add more detail to the pink section first. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where that flew to. I do have a habit of sharpening these too much. Right, so I will add a little bit black into this pink area, but not much. So, her hair would actually be a really nice all this colour, but not what I'm going for today. And there might be a little bit of pink in there. Right, I'm going to now get my black and finish off these pink sections first. Just adding it where the shadows would be, so I don't get rid of the pink completely, but she's still gonna have black as her main hair colour, so she needs to have the black within her hair. That bit there is actually like a hair strand, so I'm just gonna put that in black. Now I'm going to do these sort of in between bits. Hopefully it should bring it together. That's now to do the rest of her hair. And it might be just black. I like how much pink I put in that actually. I think it's just about right. Sort of line it up a bit. See, this bit here is her clothes, so I'm not going to go over that bit. I'm just going to sharpen this a tiny bit. I hope my head never got in the way there. I was leaning in quite far because it's only a small area. I always do that. And I think I'm going to do her kimono in pinks, but not the bright pink, like a softer pink. Like that sort of cherry blossom, the soft cherry blossom pink type colour maybe. I'll see when I get there. I've got to get there first. So I always do the tips of the, like if there's a fringe, darker, because it's like it curls in to the face so that it gives it a bit of a rounded shape. And then the top bit a little bit darker. And then she's got hair this side, which will be slightly more darker, although it's black, so but it is more, you can see the shadow that Camilla's already put there for us, which is always helpful. Because this hair is drooping over the umbrella, you need to, that's why it went a funny shape. And then and I think that is her hair almost done. Just gonna go in those lighter areas and just smoothen it with a white. Just adds a bit of light, and some of the areas I couldn't get as smooth as I wanted because else I would have made it too dark. And if you like it sort of more textured, you don't have to do the white, do you? But I wanted to add sort of a glossy look to part of it. Yeah, and that is her hair done. Yeah, I like the pink in there. I think it would have been too much black if I didn't add the pink, because obviously the whole of the spider's going to be black. That's why I thought I'd best choose another colour just to make it pop a bit. Right, next I think I'm going to colour her eyes. Yeah, I'm going to colour her eyes. And for some reason I'm thinking yellow. I don't know why, but I'm going to do it yellow. So I'm just going to take, what yellow is this? Light cadmium yellow. I need it sharp because that isn't a very large area. I'm just going to colour over those highlight areas a minute. And then as a darker colour, I'm actually going to pick out the Pale Geranium Lake, which is red. It'll just add in a deeper colour. And then I'm going to get the black again and just go around those edges. And now I'm going to take my white Posca pen and add the light. But I like to add 2 or 3 light areas. And I'm going to do her teeth as well, because they kind of disappeared. Right, and now, yes, her kimono. I'm going to take Pink Madder Lake and just go all over with that to start with. But just gently. I'm going to leave this collar area free a moment, because I might do that a slightly different colour. I don't think you can see the collar area on this side, because it would be there, wouldn't it? This is going to be a bit difficult to shade in some places. I mean, for the most part it's got the shading where you need it, but doesn't mean it's going to make it any easier. Oh, I've missed some of her hair. How in the world did I miss that? Like, seriously? I think that was supposed to be the background. Oh, why do I do these? Like, missing so many parts. Sorry for reaching across, but I'm getting the paint back out. I'm just going to do it in here. I do. And yes, I have a new water ready to go for if I wanted to paint anything else today, but I didn't. Right, now that bit of hair, that bit should have a bit of the pink in as well. Is that her hair as well? I don't know. I think I might just leave that bit. That'll do. How did I miss that? I don't know. I bet you're all like, you're missing the hair, because obviously when you're watching the video, even I notice people missing things. But when you're the one colour in it, you're so focused on the area that you colour in that you don't always remember to check, like especially this, the arms there, and then you think, oh no, there's none, no more, there's no more, but there is. Right, back to my Pink Mother Lake, sorry. Right, and I'm going to start to add another layer to the areas that have the shadow. And I know that's just because I had paint on it, but that bit would be more shadowed. I am going to add like a black. I think black will do. A black or a dark grey. These rolls of fabric that are just going over the floor. This bit will be quite dark, this side. And then now her upper body. It's going to be dark because of shadows. Also, she's got this pattern on her clothes, and like the flowers. So I'm contemplating what do I do with those. Right, I'm gonna just take my black into the darkest areas only. I do like that bit quite dark. But lightly on these bits with the black, because I don't want to go too full on. But I want a bit darker because it's at the back there. I'm fine with that drooping on the floor like that and being dark, because why not? I think I want to clean this edge off. Like so, and then back into the top. I don't know if there'd be shadow there, but I felt like it needed it. Bit lighter. And the arm creases that are already there. Probably shouldn't have added that one. Oh well. Too late. Bit darker over here. And then got it here. In here I'm just going to do black because it's the inside of the clothing, and who says the inside of the clothing isn't a silky black? can be silky black if I want it to be. Was I leaning too far in again? I don't know. And now I'm actually going to get this light flesh again. I think it would be a good colour to blend it with. Yeah, I like that. I do really like that colour it's sort of creating. It's like a pinky peach. I have to go back over that with black. And then I'm not sure about this pattern detail. I'm not sure what to do with that. I definitely want to make it a bit clearer because else it just looks, it's still got the sketchiness to it. Don't know whether to get this again, the India red. I think that might be a nice colour to use on it. I'm just going to colour over it. I'm not going to go into detail on it. I just don't want it to have that sketchy look to it anymore. And why do I always sharpen these too much? Could be though, because I was pressing lightly earlier for the face, but now I'm pressing a little bit harder because I'm just covering up this pattern. And then what I'll do, I think I'll go over it with the white to make it blend in a little bit more with what's already there. I don't know if this was shadow or pattern or what, but it's fine. Because I know the kimonos can have like a lot of sort of florals on. I think these are florals. Some of them look like flowers. Like this going up, it looks like a flower. Doesn't look like a flower after I'm done with it. Just gives it a little something extra, doesn't it? And the ones back here. They're just dark anyway, so probably don't need to focus on those as much. Just put a bit of that colour in there. Now onto the upper body. Kind of shaded over this one a bit, so not sure how it was supposed to be. and just dot it around a little bit. I like that it's missing something. Here, but again that shadowed area, and then over on this sleeve. Definitely looks better with this red on than just keeping it that grey colour, I think. Did I get it all? No, bit in here. How did I get it all? I believe so. Right, there's a couple of parts where I want to make more shadowed. So you can't see that quite as much. Part where I went over with the colour. Right, now I need to decide what to do with that part and the belt area. And actually I want that bit shaded a bit more. Because normally they have different colours, don't they? I might just do that colour, the red that I've just been using, the India red. Just make it easier for myself. Darken it up with some black. And some white on the lighter area. I didn't, did I? I didn't blend some of it in. Parts that on the lighter colour I wanted to be a bit lighter. So these bits here. I'll do. Right, now the belt area. Although I do want a bit more red in that. That white just faded it right. Right. This is a difficult one now. I feel like it needs to be yellow. Why do I keep thinking I need to add yellow? What was that yellow I used a minute ago? Like cadmium yellow. I feel like this needs little bits of yellow in it. And you might do it the same as her eyes. Add the bit of the red in to the shadowy areas. So it makes it sort of orange, but it's still yellow. And then black. then white, just to smooth that out, blend those colours together, and I think I'll go back over it with the yellow. I don't know why, but I like the yellow. And then for the rope, I might just do it black because it's so dark. And then I might just add dots of white because it's already got quite a shadow effect put on it. I'm going to do that sort of beady thing a different colourway. So I'll blend it with the white. But then take my Posca pen and sort of just start gives it more, I don't know, life. And then I might just do that a white bead. I'll go over it in a minute though. Let that dry a minute. I am going to just pause the video for a while and I'll come back to this page in a little bit. See you in a moment. Right, I'm back again. Had some lunch and ready to go, so I just get right back into it. And I decided I'm going to go over these beads, well, the tassel-y beady thing with the pink I used in her hair, just lightly. It didn't look right being bright white, you know, and just to, and then with the actual bead I'm going to do it the yellow. Because I think that yellow looks good against this pink. Just add a bit of that red that I used. And then I am going to put a white dot back in the Posca pen. And that will do for that. So I'm now going to leave this area, the umbrella and her head piece, and start to colour the actual spider in. So I am literally taking my black. I'm going to kind of ignore the markings slightly because I want her to be like, I think it's drawn as a different type of spider than what I'm going for. But I really don't want to be looking up types of spider on the internet because I don't want to, no. Just no. So I'm starting off with just a light layer and then I will build it up. It's going to be fairly dark back there anyway. And it will be fairly dark within here. So I'm just going to build that bit up now. Like I said before as well, I understand if you're not watching me colouring that spider in, but at the same time there will be people that don't mind spiders, and are like never getting to see people colour spiders, which is one reason why I decided to film this page, because I thought I'm going to be colouring it anyway. If people don't want to watch it, then they just won't watch it, which is fair enough. And then the people that do want to watch it have that option to watch it or not. I may need to add some white into that leg because I've gone over it with the paint. I think the same goes with all of the legs over this side. I wasn't careful with the paint because I knew it was going to be black anyway, but it does need a little bit of light showing through. That body bit at the back there just needs to be pitch black. So I'm just going to go in and do that. And got the leg over here. Are you seeing all of this? Yes. Good, good. I thought I put it right, but just had to make sure. Don't need a repeat of previous errors. Right, just a moment, knock something over. Now this part. Right, now the body. I'm actually going to do that part quite dark. I'm not adding like a furry body texture. I am literally going to make it black with a bit of maybe a shine. So she's that sort of spider. But first you need to build it. You need to build it up. Slowly else you will end up just making the paper have the indentations on it. And pressing too hard too soon. Right, and I am going to leave the skull and crossbones because I want those to be either black or pink, red or pink. Oh dear. Just because I'm using the black, that's what comes out my mouth. Yeah, I want red or pink, or maybe like a pinky red. So I'm just going around that area, and then within this, on this, and is this supposed to be a shadow from that, or is that like material that's on top of that? I have no idea what that is. Absolutely no idea, but it's in the same shape. I'm gonna do it as if it's the shadow. So I'm just going to colour it in black because I have no idea what that is. Absolutely none. If it's supposed to be cloth on the thing, then it's now black cloth. And if it's a shadow, it was going to be black anyway, so just figure that's probably the easiest way to go about that. Right, now I'm going to sharpen my black and build it up and decide where I want the shine to be. Oh gosh, I've really pointed that up again. I'm just going to get into those small areas that I couldn't get a moment ago. I want that part of here to be dark. Where do I want the shine going, around or over? I might do it going like around here. So I'm going to want the underbelly to be the darkest part. And I'll just lighten it as I go out. I can build that up again. Now I'm going to go, so I don't want this bit to have the lightest part. I want it to be quite dark around there. And then sort of like that. And then that all sort of point off. And then on the top it'll get darker again. So around here would be dark. Inside here. Press a bit hard then. Shouldn't have done that, should I? And then in this eyeball area, or eye socket, I'm going to be good and build it up again. Now I'm going to gently shade over this, but that's just because it's my sort of shaded area. But when I go in with my pinky red colour, now I'm going to be adding in some highlights with like my Posca pen probably. That should look okay once it's once it's finished. They never look okay to start with, do they? So now I'm going to go in on the legs, my black, build it up. It's got joints. It is difficult when you're only using black. It'll be okay once I've worked on every part, hopefully. You can hope and you can try. That's all you can do. Try your best. Keep working it until you get to where you want it to be. I have pressed record, right? Oh good. For some reason my brain just went, you haven't pressed record yet. I think it's a bit late for that now if I haven't pressed it. This hasn't been as bad colouring this as what I thought it would be. So far so good anyway. Because you know when I never colour spiders. Like, and I think if I have done, it's like even smaller than these little ones in the background, and you just fill it in black and you're done. Right, now I'm going to get my white and just go in these areas and smooth them out a bit. And then I may get another colour that's similar to this background colour and just add it in so it doesn't look all just grey and black. If that makes sense. Right here I would normally probably turn my book a little bit just so I could get the right angle. So let me just find a similar blue, and I think it's going to be this one. Yeah, in Damp Friend Blue, and that's how I'm pronouncing it anyway. Just get my sharpen. And I'm just gonna gently go over it, but not into the whitest of white areas, just so it's got a hint of it in there to take away from the grey. Because picking the colour that's in the background, it just gives it sort of the same sort of lighting colour, if that makes sense. I know I haven't added it anywhere else, but for this purpose it seemed a good option. And I'm only pressing lightly with it, so it's just putting a coating on top of that white pencil I just put down. Now for this side. A bit more in there because that looks a bit odd to me. And I think that's probably her main body done. I think there's anything that come off that. Right, now I'm going to work on the markings. So I need to find like a body pink sort of colour. Oh, that would be a good idea. We've got here the burnt carmine. I'm going to do a light layer first, see, just to make sure it's the sort of colour I want. Yeah, that is. It's red, but it's pink. Now I'll start to go in a bit darker. And you'll notice that where I added that black down lightly earlier, it stayed darker, but in the areas where I haven't, it's gone lighter, which just makes it easier. And then I may add a bit of white in the lightest of areas, just to help with that. Yeah, that helps. Right, so I think that's her body done. I'm actually, just 1 minute, that looks a bit pale. Maybe over that one a bit slightly more. Just outline that properly. And if you're wondering why I've kept this behind my page even though I'm not painting it anymore, it's because it stops me getting indentations on the page underneath, so this page stays smooth even if I press down a little bit hard with my pencils. So now I have her head piece and her umbrella, and I already know that I want to do the framework of the umbrella with black, so I'm going to do that first. I haven't decided yet on a colour for the actual umbrella. So I'm just going to go in just literally with the black. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I just don't think she would have one that's that straw colour. Right, and then the handle I also want to be black, which may not be a good idea because like it goes by her hair and that, but I'm happy with it being black. Oh dear, it just went on her hand. Zero control. Just going to take my white and try and get rid of that. Close enough. Right, now for the colour of it. Do I go red? Like a dark red? Oh. Decisions. I'm just going to need to knock that up a bit. It looks a bit awful. Just thicken it up a bit. That is a very difficult decision to make. Well, I'm going to do that yellow like I've done that there. So I'm just going to go in and do that a minute. I decided on that. Might do the umbrella purple. That's an idea. Yeah, I think purple would be a good idea. I'm not going over the spiders with black on this headpiece because they're quite bold already. And they're not the main focus of this illustration, so I'm going to leave them how they are. At least I hope that is a headpiece. If it's anything else, then I don't know what it is. Right, so I'm now going to find a purple. Right, I've got purple violet. Hopefully you can see that. And I do what I normally do and put a light layer in. But I'm going to do this quite dark, I think, in places. I like to make my pencil lines in the same direction as it goes, so if I make any mistakes, at least they're going in the right direction. I've missed a spiny bit. Framework. Right, actually now that I've got the black, I'm just going to shade in here on this inner part, and there was already some shading up here on the illustration. And I'm just going to there, and a bit down here. And then I'm going to take my purple violet again, just go over some of that. I'm still leaving some of it that light colour. Let's go in this shadow part first because that's dark. And what way I'm going. And then I'm just going to go over and smooth it out. I do like my pencils to look quite smooth. Sometimes you need the texture because of what it is you're colouring, but on something like this I'm fine with only minimal lines showing. So that is actually her complete. Now I just need to work on the background again. Let me just take a bit of my drink. I already know what I'm planning to do. I need to zoom you out so you can see the full page. That'll do. Right. So now I'm going to go over all of these little spiders that I can still see. I'm not going to bother about the ones that I can't see anymore. And just use my black. quite a few still visible, so this will take a minute, well, or 5, who knows. Again, if you've skipped ahead and you've like skipped it and it's come to this part, I don't mind that you've skipped ahead to see, like, if you just want to see the page finished or just how I'm finishing off the background, because there will be people that skip parts just because that's not a part that they want to see, and that's fine. Personally, I like to watch the whole video because I've watched the videos as sort of background noise, and I love to listen, and then I look up from time to time. There are videos where I just sit and watch them because they're like finished pages videos and you have to look at the screen to actually even remotely know what the video is going on. Plus I love to see finished pages. I think everybody loves to see finished pages. And yeah, but then like I like colour and chat videos that people do, and I often mostly listen to them, and then I see what they're colouring, then I listen and I'm colouring myself. Ooh, there's a lot of spiders. Doesn't seem so many when you're just looking at the page, but then they're everywhere. And then I've got to go in and do spider webbing, which I'm going to take my white pencil and draw it in initially, but then I'm going to make it pretty, and I'm going to get my Mod Podge Extreme glitter glue and just go over the lines that I've made with that. So they're not going to be like hugely visible, but it's going to add a sparkle because I want to make this pretty because it's spiders. I don't want to make it creepy. I don't know how much spider webbing, blah 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 blah, how much spider webbing I'm going to do on this page yet. Because obviously I don't want these just falling through mid-air, they've all got to be attached. I need to get a better angle a moment. Come down to this one. I'm going to sharpen this. It's easier to do the legs when you have a point. Oh, that isn't a point. If I just snap that. Look a moment. No, it's not in there. That's much better. You always need a sharp point for anything like this, or things like eyelashes. Any small details that you need to do black, or whatever colour you choose, because it's not always black, is it? You might want purple eyelashes. Can't believe how fast October has gone. Like, it only seems like yesterday that it was the beginning of October, and now we're almost at the end. And then November always goes by fast, and then it'll be Christmas and then a new year. Like, what has even happened to this year? Because I don't know. Doesn't seem like 5 minutes ago, like I was on holiday, but that was July. But I want it to be November because I really cannot wait to colour in this Pokemon colouring book. But I told myself that I'm in Halloween mode for October, and I'm glad when I make myself do that, because I only really colour the like pumpkin pages and sort of scary pages during Halloween time. I think there may have been like an odd occasion where I've coloured a scary one or a creepy one and it's not Halloween, but I would probably say 90% of the time I only colour them in October. It's like certain things you can only colour in certain months. It's strange. It's like I don't think I'd ever colour Christmas if it's not Christmas. But I don't really have any designated Christmas colouring books. I have books that have Christmas pages in them. For the reason I know I'm not going to colour in them other than Christmas. So I'm happy with the few pages that I have. Because you also know that new books are going to put in a couple of Christmas pages along the way. Or winter pages. Like, I'm happy enough with winter pages. Because Christmas is like just December, and then winter you've got like 3 months of it. I love doing like winter pages, just making them like that icy blue colour and sparkly. Reminds me of the Yeti page in Cute and Creepy that I put the icy blue paint on and then just went over the whole thing with Mod Podge Extreme Glitter. Just makes it wintry. Right, I think I've got all the spiders that I want to add. Which, that's enough, isn't it? Right, so I'm going to take my white pencil and sharpen it. This is just for initial lines, so if I'm not completely happy with how visible they are, I might get my white Posca as well. But for now I think the pencil will be enough. Right. I'm actually quite terrified of doing this because, yeah, the rest of the page, I love how it's turned out, but I need to add the sparkle. Right, so I'm gonna add so it's not like completely sort of, yeah. Sometimes you see them and they're not perfectly sort of made. And plus I'm going to have multiple sort of you can see it on the dark quite easily, but on the light parts you're going to struggle. And then I'm going to have some just sort of dangling down like it would be a sort of random dangler, because I hate it when there's a dangling spider. Like, because it can just drop on you at any time. So like her children work. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna sort of attach things. Oh, that wasn't very lined up very well, was it? Oh well. And that one there. Like that. And this one can just be dangling down because it can't be blurred. Like that. And then webs within webs, because you would get webs within webs. I can't imagine they'd just sort of stop, you know. And probably dangling, but then I'll do a little web down here. Just to add to the webbiness of this. Right, I'm okay with that. Oh gosh, I've really tilted the book while doing that, I'm so sorry. I've only just got up. And then yes, I want to add some glitter over those lines. Just going to move these pencils out of the way, because I'm going to knock them all off the table. Right, I have my Mod Podge Extreme Glitter. And now I need a really thin paintbrush, or one with a good point on it. I have some in here somewhere, because I bought some, yes. Because I didn't have any really tiny ones. And if you're using Mod Podge, you can use any paintbrush, but just remember to always wash it clean right after you finish using it, else it will dry up on your brush. I mean, then you could sort of soften it up with hot water, I'm guessing, but yeah, I always try to wash it right after use I just soften this brush up because it's never been used. And when I say it's small, it is small. So I'm just going to give that a shake just to make sure the glitter, I mean it's normally quite consistent anyway, and I'm actually just going to work out of what's just landed in the lid because I'm only doing small lines of it anyway, so I don't think I'll need too much. Now I don't know if this is going to pick up on camera as being sparkly or not. It will dry clear, but I want to get a decent amount on there because just to make sure it's got some glitter within it. Now notice I remember to work left to right because I'm right-handed, so I won't put my hand in anything. But obviously if you're left-handed you need to go right to left. But you'd already know that. Right, to me this is even just looking white because of the angle I'm sat at. I don't know what you're seeing. Have a look at the end. But like I said, the white lines will still be there for when the light isn't hitting the glitter, which is nice. I just went on to the page, I think. Done a bit too much on it. So I've got to concentrate so I remember which part I get up to, because it's once this starts drying, like I said, I can't see the glitter from the angle I'm sat at. It doesn't matter if a line gets 2 coats anyway, just add more glitter. I did that one. Sorry, I've been extremely quiet. I always do that when I have to really focus. Because I'm not good at, like, fine details with paintbrushes. Luckily, this, like, dries clear, so I don't have to worry too much, but I don't want to make a huge mess of it, do I? Right, now back to the top ones. Go over this one. I mean, even if you can't see this, I know it's there. See? And now I've done what I wanted to do to the page. Oh, that might be a bit too much on here. Gently. Because I'm used to doing like larger areas with this. It's hard to do it as a line. So hopefully it's worth it, but yeah. I think I can start to see the glitter sparkle in certain places, so that's good. Over the other side it's drying a bit. No? Did I do that one? I think I did. Just in case. Probably tell I'm not very good at doing straight lines with a paintbrush. I know you can get those over, they're like got really long bristles on and they're supposed to help with straight lines, but I don't do straight lines often enough to sort of make me want to buy one of those. I think I actually have one somewhere though. Yeah, I feel like I got one in a pack before. But quite honestly, I'm always finding paintbrushes. Except for when I need a paintbrush, and then I'll go and buy a new paintbrush. And then I'll find the other paintbrush and I'll be like, That's the one I just bought. I didn't need to go and buy another one. Did I do that line? I think I did. Oh well. Doesn't hurt to add more glitter, does it? Sorry if you're finding this boring, but I suppose you can always skip to the end. Huh? Definitely make sure this is dry as well before you shut your book. I've never made that mistake, but it's glue, so you're definitely gonna want to leave it open. I mean, technically it only takes a few minutes to dry, but at the same time you want to be sure, don't you? Now down onto this last spider web area. See, at first I thought of using a gel pen on this, like a silver gel pen, but I thought it would be too obvious for what I was going for, like too bold. Plus I want to add glitter to a page. I haven't done it in a while. There's a point when I wanted to add this Mod Podge to a page and I forgot where I put it, because I have a pot that has all my glitter stuff in and it wasn't in there. But then I remembered when I went to my brother's house, I took it with me. No, I didn't leave it there or anything like that, but I had put it in like a little bag so it didn't leak and get everywhere. I've never had it leak anyway, but you know, precautions. And then, yeah, I never took it out of the bag when I got back home, and I didn't even use it when I was there. But you know, you always overpack rather than underpack, because I hate wanting something and not having brought it with me. Obviously there is a limit to what you take, but and I can come home and get stuff, but I have to take 2 buses to get to my brother's house, so I didn't really want to do that. What would have been good for this, I don't own it, but those Spectrum Noir glitter pens, or the Winker Stella, like the clear glitter pens you can get, they would have been good for this, but I don't have any of those. that's all the web I got. And I don't know, I'll wait a minute for it to dry. And then I'll sort of hold the book up and see if you can see the sparkle or not. I'll pause it a minute because I'll leave it 5 minutes. Right, so it's dry, and first I'm going to remove this sheet and I'm going to peel this masking tape off, which I like to do this way, and then I sort of pull it the way that I stuck it down. Because it's right in the crack, if I pulled it the other way, it's going to peel off the paper. I only peel it the other way once I have it all unstuck, so it's nice and clean, didn't peel any paper off. I can get rid of that, and I can show you the sparkle. I do love it. Look at the sparkle. So that worked better than I was expecting, which is nice. So yeah, that is my page complete. I've thoroughly enjoyed colouring that, even though it was a spider. So I hope you enjoyed it too. If you didn't watch this and have just skipped to the end, I hope you like the result. And as you can see, she's not a scary spider, she's like a fashion spider. And I didn't end up drawing like pebbles in or anything at the bottom, because where the watercolour dried it looks like there's already some pebbliness down there, so I left that. And yeah, I'm really happy. This is the first page I've completed in this book, and if you need a reminder, it is the Pop Manga Beauties and Beasties colouring book by Camilla de Erico. And yeah, I'm really happy with this page. So I don't know what my next video will be. I still have a couple of requests to film, and then there'll be the end of the month video that I'm not sure what I'll be doing next, because I tend to colour what I feel, and well, I've only just finished this, so I haven't thought that far ahead yet. So thank you for watching and joining me on my colouring quest. Until next time, goodbye.